Why no one understands you. Think about that for a minute. So, in reference to the narcissistic abusive cycle, specifically healing, you are finding out now that very few people speak your language. Very few people understand what you went through. Very few people can even put themselves in your shoes. You see, it's not until it's too late, until narcissism has affected you, that you begin to realize that, oh my gosh, there's a whole different world out there. There's a whole different mindset out there. And if you didn't experience narcissism firsthand, count your lucky stars. If you have, you know what I'm talking about, which again is why I can finish your sentence in a second. That's not just rhetoric, it's true. If you've been in the cycle and you have questions, or you're looking for clarity or answers, or if you need information, I've been in the cycle. I know what it's like to be trapped. I know what it's like to be in the first version of myself, which is naive and vulnerable and being an open book. I also know what it's like to be helpless and to be fawning and to be not being able to catch my breath and to be peppered with abuse day in and day out. And the beautiful part about me is I'm now in the third version of myself. And that's the strongest, most galvanized version of me known to humankind. And that will happen with you too when you continue to focus on yourself. But as the thumbnail mentions, why few people understand you? It's because very few people have gotten as far as you have in reference to narcissism. Very few people have cracked the code. Very few people have put themselves back together the way you are doing it. Now, those numbers are increasing. They're growing every single second. However, there is a big learning curve. The empath has a big catching up to do. That's why I create videos every day, and that's why you're here getting your cup full. And that's why you need to understand that this wasn't your fault. You were targeted. Whoever the person or people were that rearranged your life, they knew what they were doing. Those people also were envious of you. Yes, they were jealous of you. Yes, they were cowards. They were bullies. And they did not want you to ever do better than them in life. They didn't want you to advance. They didn't want you to find your higher purpose. They didn't want you to be happy and to be abundant, to be peaceful. Essentially, they didn't want you to be yourself. Now, I've shared that in so many years in videos that the narcissist steals everything from you they possibly can. One of the things they steal from you, of course, it's your identity. This is why you become a shell of yourself. This is why you become an indentured servant to the narcissist. This is why you are loyal to the abuser. This is why you were committed to the person who's manipulating you, because you were caught up in a place that is known as the narcissistic fog, maybe even the trauma bond. You certainly were existing in the devaluation stage, which is the second part of the narcissistic abusive cycle. Any way you look at it, you made it. You found my channel. You are getting the wisdom. You are beginning to apply the tools. And my hope is you're getting stronger and stronger every day. I've shared this one recently in a lot of videos. Remember, we at one point were all what is known as the new supply. The new supply is not who you want to be. The new supply has a very long road ahead of them, because if they've jettisoned the love bomb stage, well, now they are most likely in the devaluation stage if they have not already been discarded. And this is how the narcissist continues to trap people in their webs of toxicity. This is how the narcissist traps people in their webs of abuse and their webs of manipulation. If you were taught this when you were younger, perhaps you could have avoided the person who destroyed your life. But that's not what happened. You didn't know narcissism existed. You weren't taught this when you were younger. I wasn't either. I had to figure it out the hard way, all by myself during a pandemic when I was left for dead, detached retina, on and on and on. But I did it because I'm resilient and I'm committed, and I am very focused on not only healing, but understanding humanity and mindset. Of course, at one end of that, you have narcissism, and the other end, you have empathy. You are most likely somewhere in between / an empath. One thing I can assure you is you do not harm people intentionally or deliberately, which is what the narcissist does. And that's why very few people will understand what you went through. Very few people will be able to fathom what you experienced. I've shared this one again for years in videos. Being in a narcissistic relationship, it is akin to experiencing death by 1,000 paper cuts. Now, I know I've used that ad nauseum, that expression ad nauseum for years, but it's true, because it's not one slice that does the damage to you. If it were one slice, then the narcissist would have taken what they could have one time and they would have jettisoned the relationship. That's not what they do. You see, they infiltrate your life. They creep into it like carbon monoxide. Before you know it, they are in your mind living rent-free. Before you know it, all of your hopes, dreams, and aspirations are gone out the window, and you are being plugged into the narcissist, or the narcissist is plugged into you. Any way you look at it, you were not doing what you wanted to do. You were doing what they told you to do. And if you did what they told you to do, well, then you would be given no credit, and you would be given another endless to-do list tomorrow. And if you didn't, you'd be punished. And that would give them an excuse to perhaps give you the silent treatment, to throw a rage fit on you, to gaslight you, to stonewall you, to withhold intimacy, to counter-parent more, or whatever else they would be doing. Financial abuse is another one. But this is how the narcissist works. How they work is they want to feed off of people. Without people, the narcissist is worthless. Without people, the narcissist can't get the supply they need. And you may say, yeah, well, supply isn't just a human being. Supply is also a pet. It's a plane, a train, an automobile. It's a phone call. It's an Amazon package. You are correct. But think about what a human being is. A human being communicates. Objects can't communicate. Yeah, you could say Alexis or AI, whatever, sure, but that's not a human being that they could actually abuse. That's why the narcissist targets human beings, because they need people to cover for them. They need people to do work for them. They need people to do the bidding for them. And then who gets their fingers dirty? Not the narcissist. Everyone else gets their fingers dirty. That's what the narcissist does. They've mastered this art of manipulation over centuries. They've mastered this art of deception over centuries. They've mastered this art of abuse over eons. And nobody was ever supposed to figure this out. You did. I certainly did. And when I did, I focused on myself more in that period of time, up to and including this exact moment, and I will the rest of my life, more than I ever had previously. Yeah, I said a mouthful, but play the part of the video again. You'll understand it made perfect sense. You see, when you're trapped in a place that you don't even know exists, and you're existing in a fishbowl for one, and you are the person that's trapped in that fishbowl, and you can't see anywhere because it's glass that thick or maybe thicker, and you're wondering what's going on and why this person who turned out to be the narcissist treats everybody so much better than you, but you're being targeted over and over and over again, and you can't quite get your footing. You can never catch your breath. You can never be listened or heard or respected, or your voice didn't matter. All that mattered is that you were providing money, that you were providing time, and that you were providing a cover for the narcissist. Yeah, you didn't know these things back then. Now you're learning them. And this is what the narcissist does. They don't just have one person doing work for them. They have dozens of people doing work for them in all different age groups, age brackets, and ethnicities. And I'll give you an example of that right now. Let's say the narcissist, you work with the narcissist. Okay, well, you're working with a narcissist workplace bully. Okay, fair enough. My hope is to get a new job. I worked for the narcissists and with narcissists my whole life until 5 years ago. Having said that, when you were working with, or maybe you still are working with a narcissist, and they're trying to get you to do their work or claim that they're sick when the project is due or whatever they were doing, and I could go into that all day long, it's not just them it's not just you that they're affecting. They're affecting when you go home. See, when you go home, maybe you're married to a healthy or stable person, but you have to tell that person what's going on. And see what I'm saying? This is how one narcissist affects not only you, but they affect anyone you communicate with or what you do during the day. I'll touch on that thread again for a second right here. Let's say you work with somebody who's the narcissist. When you go home, are you able to unplug and just be yourself? And when you go to the office, are you able to get the parking spot you want and just go in and be yourself? No, you can't. You see, you're always holding your breath. You're walking on eggshells. You don't know what to do because you weren't taught this. You don't know how to defend the narcissist. You don't realize that supply is your voice. Supply is you communicating with them. Supply is saying yes, which leads me to this part of the video. I haven't said this in a while, and I'll share it right now. No is the strongest word in the English language. I will say it one more time. No, N-O, is the strongest word in the English language. When you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. You need to begin saying yes to yourself. Now, if you're a true blue empath like I am, saying yes to yourself and no to others will be very challenging at first. That won't be easy because you're accustomed to helping everybody else out before yourself. I was guilty as charged. Notice I said the word was. I don't do that any longer. I won't do that for the rest of my life. I've maintained my empathy because I've become the educated empath, and I am galvanized. I'm in the third version of myself, and I pay it forward any way I possibly can to those people who deserve my attention, to those people who deserve my time, and to those people who deserve what? You got it, my empathy. But an average everyday person, I'm not going to bend over backwards for an average everyday person like I used to. I don't do that. I won't. However, flip it. Say I'm walking down the street and I can help somebody and I have the energy to do it and it's in my wheelhouse. Yeah, of course, I won't think twice about doing it. But if somebody calls me up and says, hey, can you loan me $5,000 and I'm broke again, and I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I just loan you money last week or whatever? And maybe it's not, you get my point, forget it, maybe it's $50. The answer is going to be no, but I won't say no, it's just not going to happen. And that's why silence does the speaking for you. That's why silence puts up boundaries for you. And that's why you can only get burned so many times by people before you need to wake up, smell the coffee, get the message that certain people, and at the top of this list of certain people is narcissists or narcissism, they don't change. They won't change. They don't care. They've never cared. They will never care today, tonight, tomorrow, or next week. When you wrap your head around that, you need to really take a big breath right now. Take a deep breath in and say to yourself, oh my gosh, Andrew's right. They don't care about me. Then exhale slowly and really wrap your head around what you just processed. The narcissist doesn't love you. They can't love anybody. The narcissist doesn't care about you. They don't care about anybody. The narcissist is hollow. They're shallow. They're cowards. They're bullies, and they have no empathy. If you think that the narcissist has empathy, you need to think again. And you may say, well, wait, not so fast, Andrew. The narcissist I knew, they would donate so lavishly and donate a lot of money and their time and everything. Yeah, that may be true. Well, maybe then that person you're considering had deep pockets and they were getting supply from their donations. They weren't donating because they wanted to support the cause. They were donating because they could get social media access or more followers or likes or subs, or they could be in the limelight. Example, let's say said person, whoever they are, let's say they have a fortune of money and they give away what to you appears like a lot of money. Well, to them, it's nothing. Maybe they earn that amount of money in interest in 1 month, which is more money than you'll see in your entire life. But you think they're being a generous person. Do you see what I'm sharing with you? Not everything is how it appears to be on this planet. You need to really use your discernment. You need to use your superpower. And you need to focus on yourself. Control what you can control. Stay in the present moment and heal properly. You will realize over time that the people that don't understand you, which is why I'm creating this video, why few people understand you, those people, most of them are in the everyday fog, which I've talked about for years, and I can touch on it in a later video. Or some of those people are toxic, and other of those people, they have an idea of what you're talking about, but they haven't progressed the way you have. So there are all different types of people, but what I'm mentioning to you is this. When you're trapped in the cycle, you make excuses for the abuser. When you're trapped in the cycle, you are loyal to the abuser. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. That's why it's a toxic relationship. Now flip it, or not flip it, but fast forward, post-relationship, when you're healing, this is why this journey is so daunting. This is why this journey takes a lot of time. This is why this journey is a journey for one, by one, to benefit one. And this is why no one can do the work for you. This is also why you need to realize that you're going to lose a lot of people post-relationship. You probably already have, which is why there will be casualties of the relationship. I coined that term 4 or 5 years ago, and many other people are not only using many of the expressions I've coined over the years, which is a good thing, but also they're realizing that everything I've been sharing is accurate and it's true. You must also consider this. I've been documenting my journey on this planet called life for 5+ years. It started March 31st, 2021, 5 months, 2 days after the discard. And I've created a video each and every day religiously and intentionally and deliberately. Read the description of my channel. This is my moonshot. It's my calling. It's my purpose. And now, because of what I've done, so many other people have had the courage to do what I've been doing for years. They're following in my footsteps. They're using the lexicon that I've developed. They are staying in the high vibrational state, and they're realizing that they are the priority, that they come first, second, and third, and then there's no room in their life now or ever for toxicity. These people also realize this, that yeah, with the casualties of the relationship, with the cocoon of boundaries that they've been staying in and healing, that yes, they now think completely different, and they cannot unsee what they've seen. They can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. They can't put the genie back in the bottle, and they cannot go backwards. Once you crack the code and you figure out what narcissism is, you can't go backwards. You need to go forward, and you need to cut the 4 ties from the narcissist. And of course, those four ties are the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. As you cut those, you get stronger. As you get stronger, the narcissist and the pull from the narcissist gets weaker. Then more clarity arrives in your mind. And then you realize that, yeah, there are very few people who will ever understand the new you, the third version of you, what you went through, what you're thinking right now, and what you're doing with your life. And that is why this narcissistic relationship that we are discussing, or that I'm discussing, you're consuming, that's why it is so challenging and toxic. And that's why so many people these days are saying, it couldn't have been that bad. What's the big deal? Well, not so fast. Wait till the narcissist attacks you. This is why you need to focus on yourself and drown out the toxicity, drown out the noise, and understand that you are stronger than you know. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the absolutely beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And this is a video that I've created over and over again. I'm giving it a fresh new look, a fresh new taste and take, because there are so few people that will ever understand what you went through. If you experienced the narcissistic abusive cycle firsthand and you're out and you've healed, or you're healing, then yeah, eventually you could finish my sentence. The reason I say I can finish your sentence is to let you know that there are people out there, and I am one of them, who have been trapped in a place we didn't even know existed, but made it out in one piece and healed properly. That is why I pay it forward each and every day. I am not AI. I am a real human being here in the Carolina woods, creating content to make your life more understandable, to give you clarity, and to let you understand one thing. If you haven't gone no contact yet, what are you waiting for? That person, that dark energy you're considering, they will never change. What they will do if you haven't gone no contact, they will rear their ugly head again and try to lure you back into some form of communication. Don't take the bait. Close the chapter of the book on these people and heal properly. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.